let's talk about the Note 9. I'm going to remove all mystery and start off by saying that I like this phone a lot. And it checks a lot of boxes for me as a tech enthusiast, but you and I may be very different consumers. Let me give you the rundown and the features and highlights of the Note 9, following up with my final verdict. Now, if you're a longtime member of the Fresh family, you'll know that I've reviewed the Note 2, the Note Edge, and also the Note 4. If you haven't seen those videos yet, don't watch them because they're super cringe for me, but they might be cool for you. I've been a fan of the Note series since the beginning, and I've always enjoyed the fact that they've managed to push the limits and boundaries of what we call a smartphone, and by packing tons of features into it and making it the gold standard for Android at its release. I'm going to go down these list of features in my level of importance, starting off with battery. After seeing 4,000 milliamps on a spec sheet, you'd probably assume that this has a really good battery, and you wouldn't be wrong. I've managed to use this phone without curving my usage or babysitting a charger. You can easily pull off 5.5 to 6 hours of screen on time with decent usage. Oftentimes I go to bed late nights and still have 30% battery remaining. Next up, performance. Having the latest Snapdragon almost guarantees leading performance when it comes to gaming and multitasking, so this category almost doesn't even need to be covered, but it performs really well. Take this with a grain of salt because the phone just came out, but I've noticed no lag in any day-to-day use, gaming, or multitasking. It's all top-notch. It'll of course be more interesting to see how this phone performs long-term after several software updates and security patches. Samsung isn't the greatest when it comes to updating their phones. The camera is a top performer as expected. It really shines when it comes to low light, just like the S9 and S9 Plus. You can find many different comparison videos out there. I'll link a couple down below in the description. Me personally, I prefer the picture profile of a Pixel 2 XL or the iPhone 10. I feel like they're a little bit more modest, and I think that Samsung kind of over-processes their images, making them a little too sharp, and their AI detection is a bit too aggressive for my personal taste. But when it comes to things like camera, it's all subjective, so go with your own thought. When it comes to the build quality of a Samsung flagship device, you could argue that other companies do it better, but in my personal opinion, Samsung is second to none, and their phones feel great in hand. I am a huge fan of the Infinity display and how it fits in my hand. The chamfered edges on this device are almost reminiscent of the Note 4, which in my opinion was years ahead of its time and one of the best phones Samsung ever built. Going hand in hand with build quality is the display, and I'm here to confirm that the hype is real. This is the best display that I've seen on any mobile device ever. I personally use the iPhone 10 and Pixel 2 XL, and I've used 100 devices in the past, and this is second to none. I didn't realize how much I disliked the notch until I consumed media on the Note 9. This screen is super immersive, and it's coupled by stereo speakers, which make it even better. The second to last feature we'll cover is the S Pen. Now, to be fair, I don't believe that I fully exercised the power of the new S Pen with its Bluetooth features. I know it has potential, but I haven't found the use case that really wows me. I believe the Bluetooth functionality on it is currently in its infancy, and we'll see much more in the future once developers get their hands on it. One thing that really annoys me about it is the short battery life when you take it out of the silo in the phone. Getting those low battery notifications on your S Pen because you've had it out for 4 minutes is beyond annoying. I still can't find any real use for it other than a replacement of my finger when I'm feeling bougie. I believe it would be better if it functioned as a microphone for voice assistant or for recordings. Once again, I'm not knocking the S Pen, but it doesn't make or break your experience with the Note 9, and it should because it's a Note phone. That's its marquee feature, the S Pen. So I look forward to when developers get their hands on it and really do some different things with it. The Bixby button is complete trash. Before putting the case on this device, I would constantly trigger Bixby voice when pulling the phone out of my pocket, and it drove me insane. Almost to the point that I contemplated returning this device when I saw that Samsung removed the ability to disable Bixby in Bixby 2.0. I honestly wouldn't even want it to be remappable. The fewer buttons on the side of your phone, the better in my opinion. But if you decide to buy this phone, do yourself a favor and download Package Disabler. This is a godsend. It costs money, of course, but it allows you to turn off Bixby voice, leaving your Bixby button completely useless, and that's the way I like it. So disable Bixby voice and rejoice in the fact that you one-up Samsung. This phone isn't for the average consumer. It's for the creator, the artist, the gamer, the multitasker, the super user. They pack tons of features in this device, and if you're not willing to explore those features and go through them all, then this isn't for you. And if that's not you, all is not lost. There are tons of different options coming out, with OnePlus coming to T-Mobile in the States, this new Poco phone popping up on the scene, and changing the standard of price versus value. There are so many options out there. Find yours. And if you want the next best thing to the Note 9, check out my video comparing it to the Note 8. It may surprise you. But that's about it for me, guys. It's been a pleasure as usual. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. And if you loved it, consider subscribing for more. Until next time, stay fresh. Peace.